welcome to my very first speed build. My name is Ambs, or A, whatever you prefer to call me is fine. I am not picky. This is obviously, as I said, my very first speed build. I would just let you watch it, but I do have some explanations as to what the heck happens in this, because it's a bit of a mess for the first half. I wanted to do the colour challenge. So the challenge where you choose one solid colour and you do everything, and you do everything with that specific colour. And I tried yellow to start with, because I eventually do want to do all of them, like all of the possible colours in the rainbow. But I started with yellow and I struggled so bad. It looked awful. And then I tried green. I was like, oh, let's do like some cute green kind of thing, you know. And that looked awful as well. It looked so bad. And I was like, okay, no, I have to start with a colour that, you know, I actually can tolerate to look at for like a long period of time, even though yellow and green are two of my favourite colours. So I said I would do blue. Okay, so I tried blue, and I didn't want to do pink because so many people have done pink already, and I kind of want to save that because I know it's going to be so much fun because I love the colour pink. But I tried this, and I just had no idea what I was doing. I was like, oh, maybe I could do like a beach kind of vibe. So I'm building in Brindleton Bay. But still, even then, I just, God, it was just so difficult to create something. And I'm obviously using custom content because while there is a lot of base game and like just like normal colorways in blue from The Sims, I found it easier to just use custom content, especially because I personally love custom content. I find I don't play, like I love The Sims, but I don't play it as often. I prefer to build and like to create a sim. I don't think in the like past 6 months that I've had it, I've even gotten a chance to play the game, even though I would eventually love to do like let's plays if that's something that you would be interested in. What was I saying? Oh my God. As you can tell, this is my very first voiceover, and I'm just watching back my footage, and I'm just like trying to like even gather my thoughts together. As I was saying, I found it so difficult to like figure out a sim that would like live here, because as much as I wanted to do like every single thing blue, there were a few things that just like had white in them or had like different shades in them, and I didn't want to stick with like one whole shade range, so I did use a bit of navy, I used a bit of light blue, baby blue, a bunch of different stuff. And at first I like really hated it. I hated it so much. I thought it was just the ugliest thing that I'd probably ever built. And then I got into decorating and I was like, okay, yeah, this isn't that bad. But as you can see, I'm fiddling around a lot because I just didn't know how I wanted it to go, and like the windows weren't working properly, and I just wasn't getting the vibe that I wanted. I just wasn't getting a vibe from the place. It just looked like a bit of a mess. I don't think I really kind of figured out who I wanted to live here until I started decorating the place, and that wasn't until like halfway through. So it does take a bit of a while, and I know this is a long build for my first speed build. It took me like 5 hours, and building does take me a long time in general. I'm not one of those sim builders who can just like build something in an hour, as much as I would love to be. I'm very nitpicky with all of my details, as you can already tell. I like to have everything specific, and like everything has to either match or just like, I don't know, it just in my brain, like if it's not working, I have to change it. So like I'll go through like every single swatch until I find something that I like, or I'll try every single option until I get to that point that I actually really like something, even though it's probably not that important and I'm probably never going to play in this house anyway. It's just going to stay in my saved file and do nothing so as you'll see, I do go through a lot of different swatches and try a lot of different options before I finally get to the final product. I do try and cut a lot of that out just because it was taking a really long time to like get to like the actual good parts. Like, you know, I tried to skip over and not keep in as much as like the crap that was necessary. So I'm just doing some landscaping right now. I love landscaping, but it's so annoying. I always like forget that when you have foundations on the sim house, that like placing plants around it is a nightmare. So I do eventually like although I try my best, I do eventually like pull the foundations down and then like landscape the way I want to, and then pull the foundations back up. But it is a bit of a nightmare. I do try and like work around that a little bit. But I love landscaping. I think it's probably one of the most fun parts about doing builds. And I love these little pebble things. Usually when I watch speed builds, a lot of people don't use this item, but I think it just like adds to it, like to the landscaping so much more, especially when you're doing these like little bush clutters like this. It just like adds to it and it looks so cute. See, I just pulled the foundations down because it was driving me a bit crazy. So as I was just wanting to do a little bit of backstory. So I've been playing The Sims for a long time now. So I've been playing The Sims like on and off. I'm not doing YouTube for like any other reason other than the fact that like when I build in my head, I'm like, oh, I want to explain what I'm doing. And I just like want to explain like what's going on, because like my mind just like goes like a million miles per minute. Like it just goes on and on and on. And I just want to like, I always feel like I need to like have like a commentary on what I'm doing, and I talk to myself when I'm doing it in my head, and I'm just like, okay, well, this will be fun if I just start YouTube. You know, if people watch, they watch. If they don't, they don't. It's something for me to do just because it's fun. And I love playing The Sims. You know, I play The Sims like constantly throughout the week, especially now that I'm on like holidays from uni and I'm not doing anything. The kind of only commitment I have right now is to my writing and to playing Sims, just because it's like my release. I really love building. I love looking at houses. I love interior design, although some people will probably say I'm not very good at it. I mean, like, I don't really care what people have to say. I'd like to do what I do, and working with colors is really, really hard for me. So this was a massive step out of my comfort zone, considering I usually stick within my shade range when I build things, especially on The Sims. I try and step out and not do the exact same thing as I always do, but it does usually end up having like a very similar tone. So this was like completely different. This was the first thing that was like, okay, wow, like this is something that I would never normally do. And I think it is because of like the color option of just blue. So yeah, so it's very different from me. And I know because this is obviously my first build, you won't really know what my style is. And I will try and like step out of my comfort zone again and do different things, just because I usually stick with like modern builds. I love doing modern builds because I like just love the vibe, and obviously that's my style. That's what I like. That's what I, you know, imagine, and that's what I look at mostly. Like when I go on Pinterest and stuff to get inspiration, I look at modern builds. But there's something nice about a traditional home, you know, like there's just something nice about building a good traditional home that you know that you would never live in. So this is where it like started to like form and started to look quite cute. I was like, okay, wait, this is actually not that bad, and I actually kind of like this. I think it was the light blue mixed with like the darker kind of shade of blues, and for a kitchen it just like looked so bright and fun. And I love when people have like colorful kitchens. Like, as much as I prefer like a good like white, brown, gray, black kitchen, it was just nice. It was refreshing. It was different. And so I think it's like a bit later on I realized what kind of sim I want to live here. But I mean, I guess you could have like anyone live here. You could have someone who just like really loves the color blue, you know, or a younger sim. But in the end, I think I decided I wanted it to be like an elderly sim who'd like retired. Just because I feel like the vibe of it just felt a little bit more like that. Yeah, see what I mean? Like I'm trying to like figure out a way to like fit everything the way I want it to, and eventually I just like completely changed the layout. And I go through so many different rugs. I cut most of this out because it was like a good like 10 minutes of footage of me just trying to figure out a rug that I liked. And eventually I settled on I think it's that one. Yeah, that's the one I settled on. I don't start doing the clutter because I love adding clutter items, and my thing is like when it comes to just the Sims base game and all of the expansion packs, I feel like there's not enough clutter items, and like there's a good amount, but for me I really like to add like a lot of clutter, which is why I usually stick with custom content in a lot of my builds, just for the color items. And like I like the more modern feel that some custom content has, and I love Max's Match stuff, but it's just sometimes it's just a bit nicer to like the vibes just feel. No, that didn't work. Sometimes like just the way custom content looks just feels a little bit nicer, and is why I love this custom content creator, which is I think Peacemaker. I'm not exactly sure, but I have a lot of his stuff, obviously you can tell, and I use most of that in this build here, and most of the builds I try not to like. When I used to do custom content, I used to have a lot of different custom content, and it would be a nightmare to try and figure out who it's from. And if it like plays up for any reason, I have to like go back through my builds and delete all of the stuff, and or like try and figure out what the problem is. So with just having like specific custom content creators and like having like most of their stuff from it just makes it easier to be able to find things and like link stuff if needed, you know, or if you need to re-download it for any reason, it's easier to like look it up and find it and like download it and stuff. But here I am just like adding a bit of clutter. I did try a few different options for the paintings and stuff, and I love these paintings that came with oh god, I can't even remember what update it was. What expansion pack or game pack it was. Was it Seasons? Oh, I don't even know, but I love them. I always use them. I put them in nearly every single one of my builds in different swatches and stuff, just because they're so fun and like they add like a modern vibe. And so like the other thing that I was going to say about custom content is that in the like just the traditional Sims, there's not really many options for accent walls, and I really love an accent wall. As you can see in the living room, it's got the accent wall that's like all of the leaves and the trees and stuff in the blue shade. So I use a lot of custom content for that specifically, just because I prefer having like, I love plain walls, but like I need an accent wall to just like bring it all together. And so I'm just like adding a laundry in here. Although I don't really use the laundry items that much. I do try and add laundry into most of the builds that I do, but, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And I do love a good laundry. So, and originally, as you can see next to it, there is a bathroom, which I do end up changing later because I know that it's easier for Sims to have a bathroom downstairs. But again, I don't really play The Sims that often, so the bathroom's upstairs. And I end up changing it to an office because at the end I figure out that I don't have an office space and I can't fit a desk anywhere. So I go back through and I do change it, but you'll see that soon. And I'm just adding a bunch of clutter items, like I said, so you can see me adding so much clutter of just like random bits and pieces. There we are. I'm choosing the bed. I want to try and do a custom content only build because I still used a fair bit of like well, I mean, not as much, but I did use like a little bit of just the normal game items but I would like to just like try and use just like custom content only, like custom content windows, custom content doors, floors, every single thing that I could possibly think of. I think maybe the only thing that I wouldn't be able to get is the stairs and the fences, just because you can't really get that in custom content, unless if it's like just debug items. These curtains, they look white, but they're actually a shade, like a really light shade of blue, because that was like my thing. I was like, okay, yes, these are like, this is my cheat, instead of having just blue curtains, because every single other blue curtain just did not look right. But when I went into the actual colorway in these curtains, there was an actual white color, and this was actually a shade of blue, which I was really surprised of, because it doesn't look blue at all. It looks white. It looks great. And then when I typed in, like obviously when I filtered it as blue, it came up. So I was like, well, I mean, if this is cheating, then so be it. I'll use cheating. And oh my God, I love this shower from the Jungle Adventure. It's so nice. And I love a lot of the showers that they have. I really like the one from the fitness expansion pack, like the game pack. Which is really weird because it's like such a strange like game pack to have, just because there's not a lot in it, to be honest. There's not a lot in like most of the game packs. I mean the stuff packs, God, I can't even filter what I'm saying. There's not enough stuff in the stuff packs, even though it's a stuff pack. Like I think the one that had the most stuff was probably Laundry Day, and I know everyone says that, but it's true because it had a lot of good stuff in it. But the fitness one, I just really really like the shower in it. But yeah, I thought this blue one fit in with the navy theme of the build really well. And I didn't want to do everything like a baby blue. As you can see, I've got the navies in here, just sticking with it. And oh my God, this is where I tried to put a desk in the bedroom, and it just like was not working. So I went downstairs and decided to just, cut out that bottom bathroom. Yeah, there we go. And I just changed the whole thing. But yeah, so as I was, oh my God, I find when I do when I try and do voiceovers, I just get so off topic about the stupidest things. So what I was saying about me playing The Sims is I've been playing The Sims for like years, not specifically on a PC, because I film and I play on my Mac now, which I didn't think would work really well, because I know that it's easier to have like gaming, to have like a gaming computer, but my Mac works fine. It does a really good job. And so I was playing on my PlayStation for a really long time. So when I got The Sims 4 on PlayStation, I bought all of the expansion packs on there because I was too scared to download it on my Mac, because I thought my Mac would play up. I thought it would be like really slow and stuff. But the thing with PlayStation is that like it's so difficult to build and do stuff. Like it would take me even longer than normal to actually build on PlayStation. Like say this build took me like 5 hours. A build on a PlayStation would take me like 10. It would take me double the time. It was a nightmare. So and eventually I just got tired of like not being able to try out custom content and see what it was all about. And so I just went on a whim and downloaded it on my computer, and it worked fine, and it still works fine. And I have most of the expansion packs now. I think the only 2 I don't have, which I will eventually get, just because I like transitioning over. It's like, it really sucks because you buy everything on the PlayStation and then you can't transfer it over to the computer, so you have to buy it all again. And The Sims is expensive, so I have to wait until there's a sale to get it all again, and it's like just repurchasing them. It sucks a bit. So I currently don't have Vampires, Get to Work, and Get Together, which arguably they're the 2 that have the most stuff in it. So like get together and get to work are the two that have the most stuff, and I don't have them, even though I do know what comes in them and stuff because I've had them on PlayStation before, so I already know like what's in them. I'm just like waiting to, and I think there's a sale on them at the moment, but I am waiting to just like get extra money to be able to afford to buy them and stuff, but it's not the end of the world, you know. Right now I will try to incorporate as much as like game packs and expansion packs and stuff, like the Sims 4 stuff only rather than custom content. But I do find that I build easier with custom content because even though I've tried to build with like the game only, it doesn't look completed to me because I just like to add small bits and pieces just to like make the place look a bit better, especially with like the cups and everything. It's really annoying that we don't have any cups in the actual game and you have to go into like debug and then they end up cleaning them up anyway, so it's just easier for me to just have those as clutter items. But again, they're all relatively easy to download. Like I use stuff from, as I said, Peacemaker, whatever, Praline Sims on the Sims resource, the Cottage Garden and the Rustic Romance stuff. They're really good packs, and also the Puffer Head pack. If I ever have anything else, like I'd usually state it, but at the moment, like that's kind of like what I tried to stick with. I didn't really want to go too far out and get like completely different things. That's, you know, going to be a nightmare to find, especially if people do eventually want to download this. Like I don't know if any, like I don't really care if people watch this or not, but like just in case, you know, and you want me to upload this to the gallery and you want like all of the links and stuff, then obviously let me know and I'll like add that kind of stuff in. But for now, you know, I'll just leave it as it is, and we're coming up to the end, so I will add screenshots in. It was lovely to, you know, talk and meet you guys for the very first time. I hope you enjoyed this build, and if you like me, if you like my channel, which, you know, there's not really anything other than this video on for now, I will be uploading a lot more eventually. I'm currently pre-recording a bunch of different stuff right now so that I can eventually upload it. But again, if you do like this build and you like me so far, go ahead and subscribe, maybe give this video a like, you know. But again, I'll see you guys in the next video. I will be doing a bunch of different creator sims as well, so that's probably what's going to come next. And then I don't know, I guess I'll see. All right, thanks guys, bye.